Hi everybody, my name is Caoimhe. I'm from the Confidence Clinic, and the goal of the Confidence Clinic is to empower children and teens to live happier, more confident lives. I'm here today because I want to share a few tips and tools that you can use if you're moving from primary school into secondary school. So my job as a life coach for children and teenagers, I've experienced over the last 7 years lots of children coming to me with worries about moving into secondary school. I've also recently been asked to do a workshop in a few schools to help with that transition. So I'm merging the information from both of those worlds, the workshop that I've done and the one-to-one life coaching that I've done with children, and I put together a little video to help with some tools so that it's an easier transition for you. So here we go, the 6 topics that we're going to cover. We're going to talk about friendships, rumours, homework, timetables, rules and finding your way. So these are going to be covered as quickly as we can so that we can keep your attention, and we want to make sure that you leave with something useful. So the first thing is friendships. So let's talk about friendships. So what's the first thing you need to do if you want to widen your circle of friends? If you want to widen your circle of friends, for example, you walk into a new classroom and you don't know as many people as you used to know in your old classroom, you've got to be as friendly as possible. So there's 3 key things that you can do to help make new friend. The first thing that you need to do is you need to smile. So to smile, smiling sends a signal to the world that you're a friendly person. So for example, this is needed all the way through your life. It could be needed when you're an adult, when you start a new job. It could be needed when you go to college. You could need this skill when you move into a new area and you want to say hi to your neighbours, you don't know anybody. It's something that we need to know for our whole life. So it's an essential skill or social skill to be able to be friendly and meet new people. So smiling gives a signal to other people that you're a friendly person, that you want to talk to them, that you're willing to talk to them. So even if you're feeling really shy or really intimidated and you don't want to be there, or you really don't feel like smiling, if you're giving the signal to the world that you don't want to talk to them, it's usually something like this. You're looking down and you really don't want to make eye contact. If you make eye contact and you smile with somebody, it's letting the world know that you are a friendly person and you do want to connect with other people. The second thing that you need to do, it's a very, very simple word, very short. It's just say hi. So if you can even do those 2 things, smile and say hi to people on that first day in secondary school, you're going to get to know more people. You're going to be able to have a conversation with somebody. So naturally enough, the third thing that you do to make a new friend is you talk to them. And you can talk to them about whatever you want. You can talk to them about, do I know you from, were you in my primary school, or do I know you from gymnastics or football or GAA, or you can ask them what school they went to. You can talk about the things that you do in your life. You'll know better than anybody what they are. So just think about all the different things that you do in your life, the things you've done over the summer, what you can talk about. A really good way to get to know people is to ask them questions. So when you ask questions, usually you're engaging the other person, and people are usually quite happy to talk about themselves. So ask questions and get to know that other person. And don't worry if you've nothing in common. Quite often good friends don't always have much in common, but they just, they're nice people and they connect. So try to connect with as many people as you can. You won't be friends with everybody, you won't be best friends with everybody, that's just not the way it works. But the more people that you connect with initially and get to know, then you'll figure out who are the ones that you're going to be close with. You'll also have your old friends and people that you know from primary school and secondary. So don't forget that you can work on those relationships. So I talk about growing your circle of friends and making it as wide as possible. If you know people but you don't know them that well, try not to be judgmental. Try to be open to get to know them, talk to them, ask them questions, try to sit with them. A really good thing to do is to introduce yourself to the people who you don't know and you don't know their name. So something just as simple as I'm Caoimhe, or I'm John, I'm James, whatever it might be, then you get the chance to learn their name. But if it's somebody that you already know, then if you just want to say something like, what are you doing at lunchtime, or can I sit beside you, or whatever it might be. So there might be people you know but not that well, but you can always get to know them better. So try your best to connect with people. Make a conscious effort from day 1 and for the first few weeks to try to connect and talk to as many people as you can. Okay? So that's friendships. So the second thing I wanted to talk about was rumours. And rumours is quite closely lined up with friendships. So you may find, and you may have already found in primary school, that rumours can be actually quite dangerous. We can get caught up in other people's drama and gossip and people talking badly about others, and it can cause a lot of nastiness, it can cause a lot of bad feeling, it can cause friends to not be friends anymore and groups to split. So be very careful about rumours and try your best to stay away from it. You can always change the topic, you can change the conversation, you can make it a rule that you won't repeat things. If somebody's going to speak badly about somebody, that you're not going to continue it. And sometimes rumours can be a tiny bit of truth and a whole lot of rubbish that's made up. It's like Chinese whispers. So do your best to stay away from that kind of stuff. There can also be mind games that go on, and you might find that some people are maybe not saying hi to you or not being as friendly to you as they normally are. Maybe you get the feeling that you're being pushed away out of a group. That can be quite hard, it can be tough to deal with, but just know that the teenage years and going into secondary school, there can be lots of ups and downs. The best thing you can do is try and find a few good friends that will stick by you and that you can stick by them. Be a good friend to them. You know, never get involved in these kind of dramas and rumours, and just always be there for them. And that will be the best way to get through the secondary school years, if you can. The third thing that I wanted to talk about is homework. And it's a little bit like rumours. You hear lots of rumours. Oh my God, the homework that you're going to get is going to be so much. There's going to be such a lot to do at weekends. You're going to spend your time every evening, hours and hours of homework. It's not always true. So be careful about listening to these rumours. Some people find that when they go to secondary school, and I know some of my nieces have said this to me, that their homework wasn't nearly as bad as they expected it to be, and it actually wasn't that much. So don't get caught up in the rumours, and don't live in those rumours, and don't let them run around your head all the time worrying about them. Wait and see. All you can do is live in the now. Wait and see. When you get to school, you might find that some teachers might be quite easy on the homework, and it goes kind of, they give you a bit of time to do it at the end of class maybe, and some teachers might give you a bit more homework. It's not going to be the case that every single teacher is going to give you tons of homework and that you'll never have any time to have fun and play the sports or games or do the activities that you normally do. So just take it as it comes, wait and see, and you don't know yet what it's going to be like. Another tip that I have, when I get people coming to me for life coaching and they're stressing about exams, they're stressing about the workload, there's two things I want to say. One is, if you pay attention in class, that's more than half the battle, and if you do your homework, that's also a really good thing to do. So people, when they're going into secondary, they're like, oh my God, exams, what am I going to do? Just concentrate in class and do your homework. And if you can do those two things, that's really all you can do for now to keep on top of the work. So try not to get too stressed about it. If you need help with your homework, if you can't understand things, you need to speak up. You need to talk to the teacher involved, or talk to your parents. Okay, so timetables. So this is quite a big one, because this is the big change from going from primary school to secondary school. And I want to show you something. So this is a sample timetable, and across the top are the days, down the side are the times, and in here you can see there's the abbreviations of all the subjects. So this is the big change from going from primary school. So you've got to start to understand what the abbreviations are. You will also see initials or names, which will be the teachers that you have. So down in here on this one, they're all explained down the bottom. So when you get your timetable on your first day in secondary school, you'll have a look at Monday morning and you'll be able to see what your first subjects are of the day. So French, history and maths are the first subjects in this timetable. So this is important because A, you need to know what books to bring with you. B, you need to know which classroom to go to. And C, it's good to know what teacher you've got as well. So you can get all that information from your timetable. So make sure that you keep it really safe, that you copy it quite a few times. It's a really good idea to, I know somebody who copies it about 5 times, and they have a copy of the timetable in lots of places. They sometimes laminate them as well, so they can have them in their school bag, in their locker, on their fridge at home, maybe in their bedroom or where they do their homework, and one to carry around with them in their pencil case, a small version of it. So do what you can to keep it safe, copy it as many times as you can, and also what you can do is you can colour code it. So you can make, for example, where on the days that you've got French, if you've got French 3 times a week, you can make French blue, for example, and where you've got blue, you know that's French. And here's the other reason why it's good to colour code. It's quite popular now to put all your books into these folders. This is quite common, and lots of parents and teenagers and people already do this. So these folders, and the books are quite heavy, I have to say. What's a really good tip is to, if you're going to use, for example, everything that's blue, we said French. This person's is, let's see, it's English. Blue is English for them. So they've got everything to do with English in the folder. So when they know that they have English, they open their locker and they grab the blue folder and everything is inside it. So it's really good to stay organised. If you're not a naturally organised person, a little bit like me, it really helps, this kind of organisation. You just have to make sure that you keep it organised, put everything back in the folder, and keep your timetable colour coordinated so that on Monday morning, if you've got, let's say the colours are blue, red and green, you open your locker and you take the folders blue, red and green, and off you go to your class, and it's so simple. You can also keep them in order so that when they go into your bag, you've got the right thing next and you just have to pull out that folder. So another tip that I want to give you, and it's not quite about timetables, but it's a little bit about the heaviness of the bags. I know some people get iPads nowadays, but not everybody does. But there's a really good tip that I've learnt. A mother had told me this. So this book has a free digital resource. Some of them have a free downloadable copy. So you can get the code from inside the book. Normally you scratch a little silver or gold code and you can download the book onto your laptop or your computer or a USB stick so that you don't have to carry the book to and from school every day. So that's a really good tip because some of these books can be really heavy and sometimes it's really hard to remember all the books that you have to bring home for homework, and it can be tough to bring them all in and all out. So if you leave your books in your locker, you can have your downloadable version at home. So that's another option if you can't manage to carry everything all of the time. Okay? So the next one is rules. So some people get a little bit worried and stressed about all the rules when they go to secondary school. And I just want to remind all of you that if you've been to primary school, you'll know that there's already rules that you've abided by and you've just gotten used to them over time. So for example, you have to behave yourself, you have to listen in class, you have to, for example, some of the rules might be not to run in the yard. The rules might change slightly in that they might be that you've got to walk on a certain side of the corridor so that the classes, when they change, that everything runs smoothly. So the rules can change a little bit, but more or less it's the same type of thing. Be there on time, listen in class, don't cause trouble. If you find that there's some rules that you don't really agree with and you think it's not right, it doesn't really make any difference. Unfortunately, you just have to stick to the rules. And you might feel that, oh, secondary school is different, you can get into a lot of trouble, you can get detention. If you're the type of person who generally does what you're supposed to do, and you listen, you do your homework, and you avoid trouble and you don't talk in class, you'll be absolutely fine and there's nothing to worry about. The only reason you might get detention is if you break the rules. It's that simple. So if you're the type of person that sometimes does get into trouble, maybe this is the time for a fresh start to wipe the slate clean and make sure that you go in with a new attitude towards school and do your best to concentrate and listen in each class. That's what will get you ahead of the game when it comes to doing exams. Okay, so that's rules. So next is finding your way. So finding your way around can be quite a stressful thing. Some people worry about, I'm going to get lost, how will I ever find all the classes? So you've got to remember that you're going to be moving in groups. You're going to be with your other classmates, your friends. So you've got to make sure you stick with them as they move around from class to class. But that can sometimes not work because sometimes classes can be split up. For example, Irish, English and Maths, maybe some people are going to a different classroom. It's not always the case that you go to each class together. So finding your way around, the number one thing you've got to remember is that everybody else is in the same boat as you. Don't be afraid to ask somebody. So you can ask a teacher, you can ask somebody who's older than you in the other years, they will know the way. And also use landmarks in your head. So for example, when you come in the door, if you can remember certain classes are in certain places, or once you see a notice board, you've got a few more doors to go and then it's your classroom. Just start to make note of different things in your mind when you get to your classrooms, so that you can remember, oh yeah, this is our classroom for French, or English is now downstairs and just down the corridor. So you will get used to it. The first few weeks are absolutely the hardest, because any kind of change can be hard, but it's just a matter of getting used to it. Make sure you're telling yourself the right thing in your head. So not saying things like, oh my God, I'm going to get lost, or I don't know anybody, or it's going to be terrible. Take deep breaths right down into your tummy and tell yourself, I can handle this, I've got this, or I can do it, or something really positive, because it's really just a matter of getting into a new routine and learning the ropes in this new school. And within a matter of a few months, it will be normal to you. You will know where to go, you will know what to do, you will know which teachers you enjoy, which teachers you don't maybe enjoy, but that's okay. Most teenagers that come to me, they tell me that actually after worrying a little bit about moving into secondary, they usually end up absolutely loving it. And they love the change, they love that they get to move classrooms, they love that they get to, if they don't like a particular subject or teacher, that after 40 minutes they're moved on. And that just reminds me that there are such thing as double classes, so you will have double classes sometimes of certain subjects, for example science or PE and things like that. They're usually put together in double blocks. So I hope that's helped you all, and I hope you have a great first few weeks and first year in secondary school. Thanks very much for your time. Bye.